Starting to check some of that. It's interesting. Been there a long time.
Could have been various reasons for them shutting down.
Health. Figured it was time to retire. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No guarantees of anything.
My guess is those sales are probably way down.
Well, yeah.
That's my guess.
How many people are building computers now? And they have.
Well, people are. It's just, I don't know if they're going to stores to do it anymore.
Just order it online. Get it exactly.
Well, when you can get it way cheaper at like Walmart or Best Buy or.
Yeah, or like.
Sometimes you can find better deals at Best Buy on pre-built computers than you can on Newegg.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes they have those special deals
Yeah.
and other things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get good deals on Newegg. It's just
depends.
Just depends. Now everything though. Now if you want a really high-end computer, it's a lot of money.
Of course it is.
Compared to what it was, even 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not even talking about putting the tariffs into effect on this yet. When the tariffs go into effect, yeah, they'll be even higher. But,
we'll see. Said he made it.
To have a top-of-the-line computer, top of the line with all the latest bells and whistles in it, you're looking at over $5,000.
And the average person doesn't need that.
Well, no. To be to have a one tier lower computer is like, if it isn't on sale, it's probably $3,500. That's just one level lower from top of the line.
I don't need anything like that.
If you go with AMD and their latest stuff, video and graphics, you can probably get it at $2,500 to $2,800. But that's, yeah. And then if you want a really high-end super killer system, you're looking at 10 grand. And I'm not kidding on that one.
That sounds.
So I've seen the pre-builds.
I don't have any interest in them at all.
Could you, at that point, make it cheaper if you built it yourself? Possibly.
I don't know.
Sometimes I've seen the pre-builds and I'm looking at if you bought almost the exact same components throughout, would you actually save any money? Not really. Yeah, you might get some better. You might get a better motherboard than the one that's offered in pre-built, but you're going to be paying more for it. At least when you could spread this out a little too. That's the only good thing with build it, part by part, is you can spread that part out. You get the motherboard and CPU, and then you get the RAM, and then I guess the video card's gonna be the most expensive component. If you go with the ultra high-end model from NVIDIA, you're looking at, on the cheap side, you're looking at, for 5090, I think on the very cheap version of it, it's like $2,800.
For the card?
Just for the video card. We're talking the high-end line of the cards.
I don't need it. Yeah.
Now, if you talk about the liquid-cooled, overclocked, heavy that has probably the best of the bin series. So basically, it has the top-of-line hand-picked chip in it that can do everything in the world. Yeah, you're looking at $5,000 to $6,000
They said
just for the video card.
Cray supercomputer ain't what it used to be.
What? Oh, Cray?
Cray.
It depends which one you're looking at.
I'm thinking high end, but
They put a lot of GPUs in them. You know, so. For super, they still do a lot more in your desktop computer, depending what application you're doing, though.
Well, yeah.
When you have now they're putting these little computers, like kind of a little bit bigger than Joe's, but I mean basically it's about like a box big, really. And it's got a 16-core CPU that almost as good as, not quite as good as, but almost as good as my high-end laptop I bought. But it's new. And then they have the onboard graphics card that's inside the chip.
Really?
Is way better. It's actually better or around the same as the mid-generation actual video card. So that's pretty good. And then on top of that, now this is where it kind of gets a little weird. You can get 128 gigs of their highest end laptops memory built into this little microcomputer type thing. And of course it's soldered, so you can't replace it. But I mean, 128 gigs of 8,000 megahertz RAM.
Must be pretty fast.
Yes. Now they're talking about you have these things. Just one of them. You can do large cluster AI stuff with this thing because it's got so much memory, and it's very fast memory. And then you pair it with a very fast SSD, and we're talking like SSDs they're doing like 15,000 megabits a second read-write, which is fast.
I would think so.
Well, considering most laptops and even gaming systems have like maybe 4,000 to 5,000, maybe 7,000 now. This thing's got 15,000 read-writes.
Pretty fast.
That's fast. Well, then you have to have a high-end CPU for that. But yeah, 128 gigs. And then they said you could build these suckers in clusters. So you can literally build your own mini supercomputer out of these things.
Looks like nobody's here.
Just a couple.
Bart.
Here's Friday.
Bob and people in there with dogs.
Do you want to cut across there? Go down, around, move around.
This is jiu-jitsu on one side and karate on the other.
No,
It says. That's what it says. I'm assuming it's jiu-jitsu. None of it says karate.
Oh. You know what's great about both of those things is? If the guy has a big gun, it won't matter.
I know. Or even a big blade. You mean it's still getting chopped up in pieces.
Yeah, they were showing that one guy was saying he was a black belt and top whatever thingy in his field or whatever it was, and said he could disarm anybody and put them down on the ground or whatever. And guy pulled out a stun gun, stunned him, and he fell to the ground shaking. And it was like, so your expert quantum whatever thingy
teaser dance
meant nothing when my taser hit you.
Teaser dance wins. Yeah.
They just fell on the ground shaking.
Yeah. Yep. I wish that's what they would do with some of these bozos on these things with the
the protest.
protests. Yeah.
Well, they hit them with rubber bullets, or they hit them with
paintballs.
So far, the pepper spray that they spray out, or the CS gas balls, or little explosive ones. Those seem to do pretty good at clearing
But
them
you
out.
know what else it does though? It marks them with like a green paint, so they're easier to find later.
Yeah, and they can arrest them later.
Yep. How did you get this green paint? Well, I just,
If I was down protesting in front of you and you shot me.
Yeah, that means you were doesn't.
The only bad thing is if somebody would to actually bring a real weapon down there.
Yep. Stings a little bit, and they got them marked.
Yeah. Surprising, for all the gun violence that happens in our country, you almost never see these mass protests with somebody with a gun.
If they do, it's a problem.
Well, yeah, I know it's a problem. I mean, surprising with all the gun violence they have and all the other issues they have, and these mass protests where they get violent and everything, you almost never see anybody with a gun.
Just like Antifa, just like the brown shirts.
They'll throw Molotovs, they'll throw other stuff.
It is on their upgrade list, though.
I'm sure it is, but
I'm sure they.
But it's like they'll throw Molotovs, they'll throw rocks, they'll throw bricks, they'll do this, they'll do that. But by golly, none of them are carrying a firearm. You know, just you would think that if you're going to be violent at a thing like that, these people would be armed with weapons.
The bad thing with that,
weapons.
Bullet goes wherever it wants to go.
Well, yeah. Well, it's probably because people already have a criminal record, so they can't buy a gun anyhow.
Yeah. Doesn't mean they won't give them money.
Yeah.
They said Soros is behind some of the funding, and so
Wouldn't surprise me.
Who's surprised by that?
No one.
They should be able to pick him up for that.
Well, just because he might be behind it, he's not actually. He's rich, so he's and well protected. So even if he is funneling money into it, he's not directly responsible.
He's responsible for what the acts are. Paying for.
Well, that could be a lot of things there. You could get a lot of people for that.
Seizes money.
Yeah.
He's part of funding a lot of this stuff. Other outlets.
Oh, apparently those police officers that arrested that senator.
Yep.
Are now been fired.
For what?
You arrested a U.S. senator.
So what?
In the Capitol building.
So what?
And all he did was come to the news conference to ask a question.
Oh, he was being stupid.
Well, that no reason they need to body slam him and cuff him.
He didn't follow instructions. That was the deal with that.
Well, I watched the press conference. All he did is ask about 3 questions, and they forced him out.
Well, our view of the mess, and it is quite a mess.
Yeah, it is. See if those actual protests do anything tomorrow. They have the nationwide things.
Oh, they will in some places.
Oh, yeah. Probably the majority of the things they'll have like 5 people show up, they'll protest with their little signs, and then they go home.
I don't mind that at all. It's just
as long as it's all peaceful.
Do not block the roads. Do not deny.
Yeah, no. A lot of these
places
places are at parks.
Yeah, Well, that's fine.
Protest on the little parks. Great.
Yep,
If
yep.
it's at the Capitol, do it
Yep,
in your little
yep,
area.
yep. Do not block anything
No.
for emergency response. Or
I think majority of people aren't going to have a problem with it. They're going to protest their little protest with their signs.
Everybody's going to ignore
The
them.
media will be there, take pictures. You know, the local media will be there and take pictures because they're going to have one of these in every state. So.
I hope it's in Bismarck and not here.
It is. It's at the Capitol grounds.
Good for them.
I already looked at her.
There's been a couple people out
They have one. They have
signs on Broadway.
yeah. Yeah, we almost already know something. I think they're going to have one in Fairbanks or something. Yeah, I know. They'll probably have all 2 people show up.
How much of the rednecks are going to be impressed with that?
Probably nobody will be out to look at it.
University of Alaska Fairbanks is where that's.
Well, you know, I'm sure the mosquitoes will enjoy the protest.
Probably will.
Yes, they ought to have it in the most mosquito-infested area.
You don't want to be the cops down there keeping an eye on it, though.
Well, cops stay in their cars. Probably only need one cop. Yeah, Deputy Grizzly.
Yeah.
They'll take care of all the.
Or the wolf squad.
That'll work too. Deputy Grizzly ought to handle all that issues right there.
And Bull Moose will go pretty much where he wants.
Yeah.
Better get out
I
of
was
his
just
way.
saying Deputy Grizzly.
Yeah.
What? You're going to protest? Oh, I need to eat too.
Got my 60-inch rack. Let's give it a try. Didn't want to do it in front of the fire plug, probably.
No, probably bad.
Okay, I'll let them go. Then they can go. Tilt in the front. Jonathan, I think.
Probably whoever their maintenance person is.
Well, it depends on the position. Up this road now. Hardy's used to be. That's a strange thing. They duct taped that in there. There's a couple pieces of plastic. It's working. Sold that business. He's in real estate now from there.
Okay.
Yep. Used to be our neighbor. Built that garage for that and all the rest of that.
Can't keep crawling through ducks all your life.
There's money in it, though.
Yeah, real estate's got money in it too, so
Yeah, yeah.
market's doing well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.